Hola tribe, welcome to the House of Kai. So today we have our daily medicine oracle read, and let's see what the message is for the tribe today. Yeah, today will be December 11th. So impressed I remembered that. Let's see. Daily read. What is the medicine the tribe requires? What is the medicine that the tribe requires? Wow. No good thing shall be withheld. Oh my goodness. You know, before I go on to these reads, I do my best to clear myself. Knowing that I'm not, how can I say, knowing that I bring my own things energetically in as well. And so allowing myself to be present in my heart and knowing how huge this message is. You know, sitting in our present moment and allowing ourselves to receive. I am a doer or an overthinker and can sometimes not allow. And I know that it is in the allowing that the gift is received, right? It is in the overthinking, it is in the over-controlling, it is in the lack of trust that we throw monkey wrenches into the process. And in this card, as the, I'm gonna go with the feminine, however, it doesn't have to be here. As the being sits in prayer and in meditation, the butterfly is above her head, and you see the higher being sitting above, right? The full presence of the light, right? With the wisdom, the guardianship, the allowing of the receiving. Blessings of Kumu, and no good thing shall be withheld. Wow, that's pretty freaking amazing. It is fear that blocks us, right? Our own personal fears. You've heard me speak of clearing our waters, clearing our vibrations. It is the distortion in our personal vibrations that cause us to, it's a fear tone that is heard. And in that fear tone being heard, we send that message out into the universe. And in doing so, it can create distortions in our communications. I know for myself that emotion, too many emotions being processed, or I also know my level of sensitivity to other people's emotions, or pain, really pain, can cause distortion in my own personal. And how can I say this? I don't have a problem with all of those feelings. It's a form of communication. I dare say enjoy experiencing the deep emotions, because it allows me to feel. And I think some of us can be addicted to our feelings, I can honestly say, there's an addiction to sensory overload. And so allowing ourselves to lessen different stimulants in our systems. I have definitely cut out a lot of my stimulants, or at least cut down a lot of my stimulants. And you don't even realize you're consuming as many as you are, which can stop the process of receptivity and act as if you're in a fight or flight response, even when you're not. Wow. And so as I say all that, the card I cut is consistency. Look at that. So cutting out the excess, the overstimulation in our systems that can create a distortion in our energy, stopping us from receiving these many gifts. How do we do that is become cued into it. We have to know to the center of our being, our vibration. Dropping into the center of your being, of your vibration. I am so sorry for the lighting. I move a whole big bunch when I speak, and so I'll have to figure out how to get this so it doesn't keep doing that, creating the distortion of light, and I do apologize. So when the vibration is passing through our systems, right? There's an excessive stimulant, and we already are surrounded by it. I don't know if you can hear like police cars going on down the road, right? And so there's always stimulant energy going on. And when we ourselves take in excessive stimulants, we then either repel energy or draw it in even more. And so learning how to control that, and personally it's been through dropping in and knowing my own personal vibration, knowing and connecting to my own personal light, and then breathing into it and allowing it to expand within me. And as I do that, you can clear and be more mindful of where those excessive energies or distorted energies are in our being. And so moving forward, wow, we are truly, I just simply love, and what I'm being drawn to is the hand here guiding the sun. There's a hand right here guiding the sun. It's in, I think of a chi ball, right? An energy chi ball. So if you had ever done Tai Chi or different forms of martial arts even, they speak of this energy ball that is between us. And there's always energy in between everything, actually. Inanimate objects still run energy. So, and clearly even just me moving in and out to this lighting, you can see how, the light itself, if I place my hand near it, I can sense and feel. I am literally, my fingertips are, I keep as close and then far away. I am at least 4 inches. My fingertips are at least 4, maybe 5 inches right now from the light, and I can still sense the power and energy of that light. I'm coming back. You can now see my fingertips. I can still sense and feel the heat of that light in my fingertips. There is a constant energy running with everything. And if we ourselves are not in command of these vessels, then we allow everything from outside of us to take power over us. And not just render us powerless, yet, and it seems so extreme to say that, yet when that energy is built upon, when you don't ever check in to find out what's truly going on in the vessel, or not often enough, it becomes denser and denser and denser and denser, and more work to work through. And so when we talk about doing the work, there's many levels to it, and one piece of the work is clearing your vibrational channels, right? So people talk about chakra clearing, which is, it's lovely to say chakra clearing. It is one method. I encourage you to check every cell. You know, the chakras are just the major glands that the system is running. That's what a chakra really is one of the major glands. And so they're energy sources. And so, yes, it's important to clear those, yet you can scan every cell of your body. You can literally go in and go into your own organs, your bones, the cells of you can break it down utilizing your own mind and then clearing it. You can clear yourself of all of that. It's just that simple. We just tend to use our brains for other things rather than presence. And going into that level of a cellular clearing, what ends up actually happening is you must breathe, because you're going to want to run from it. Once you realize what those cells are carrying, you find yourself wanting to run from them because it's uncomfortable and it's distorted, and you have to realize that you've been walking around with that distorted, uncomfortable energy for God knows how long, right? Who knows how long we've been sitting in that poison within our body and running that as our main frame of energy, right? Something that we don't want to know that, right? Who wants to know that? Unless you no longer wish to carry it, unless you no longer wish to show up as that person. It is important to do our own personal journey work and clearing so that we can be at ease within our systems. No longer be overburdened by the poisons, right? And so now I'm shuffling up Ganesha. Ganesha. I love him so much. As very special, oh goodness, it was probably 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was in a yoga practice. And maybe even 18 years ago at this point in time. It was pretty early on in my yoga years. And I was coming out of Shavasana, and all of a sudden, right as I'm coming out of this deep state, this image comes flashing into my face really fast, and it's an elephant head. But it wasn't just any elephant head, it was something specific, and I had never seen Ganesha before. And it was a few days later I went and visited a friend down the Cape in Massachusetts, down Cape Cod. And we're wandering the streets and checking out these little shops, and I walked by and I went, I just saw that. And it was Ganesh. And from that day forward, he has walked with me. He is so precious. He is just so simply precious. He is sweet and he is powerful. And, I know a lot of people can get stuck on deities, and I like to just, why can't we honor aspects of God, right? It is the ego that believes that we're over-identifying it as another God. It's an aspect of God, which does make it a God, because you're an aspect of God, which makes you a God. So to believe that it is worshiping of multiple gods, it's just worshiping of multiple aspects of the main deity, for me anyway. Where other people might not be able to handle that, I just think that it's pretty fantastic. So I hope no one takes that personally. Oh, surrender. Surrender. Right? Truly receive. Just receive the gifts that are being bestowed upon us. And keep purifying our waters, because the gifts are outstanding. They are abundant, and we are worthy of all of that. How can you, no good thing, right? No good no good thing shall be withheld. Can you imagine? Like, just drop into that. No good thing will be withheld from us. When we drop in and receive to that level of light, and I really do love, I'm gonna go right into the next card here, and it's insight, right? So allowing ourselves to receive, surrendering in, in this moment of surrender, when you're just dropping in, that third eye is opening up and doing the work, just as I had mentioned while my story, right? I love how these things succinctly link up. Yet the story of Ganesha, I just surrendered. I dropped into my Shavasana. And in doing so, I received the gift of insight and had a moment with Ganesha that was very nurturing and sacred to me. One that will always stay with me, right? So it is a gift to surrender into this new level. Wow. Wow. Good. Now. So excited. I love shuffling the cards. It's meditative. It's very meditative. It's just so exciting. Right? Wow. The gift of being in our present moment. The work is loving yourself. So when people talk about the work, it's about loving oneself. And how does one do that? By bringing insight inside of yourself. So you can go and receive work from another human being, energy work. You can speak with an advisor. You can receive different healings. There's so many different things. I've been doing this healing work for almost 20 years now, just about 20 years now. And the amount of tools in my tool belt are pretty vast at this point in time. And so offering people medicine in multitudes of formats is just so prevalent. And I think the most powerful gift I could give anyone is teaching them how to do it for themselves. That there are so many ways into the body, and it is the body. This is the roadmap. This body is the roadmap to the journey itself, right? So, and clearing away old cellular memory of things you might not even know you're holding or have any storyline or correlation to the vibration, which I think is what makes it complex for people, is that everyone wants to attach a story. There's got to be a reason I'm carrying that vibration. Well, how about you carrying that vibration? And the mind will create a story for you if you need a story, and you can either attach to that story or you can allow yourself to surrender it and let it go. And the more you do that, it is a self-love within yourself. You're loving whatever that energy is and setting it free from you. And in doing so, you only expand further and further into love. That's how it works. That's how it works. So as we expand further and further into love within our own being, within our own musical instrument, tuning fork that we reside within, the gifts only get bigger. Like the abundance, the gifts of love, the gifts of the journey just only get bigger. Like they get unbelievably huge. And they're immeasurable, immeasurable. Yeah, I can't even explain to you. Like today I was at a juice bar, and this little one, she told me he was almost a year. He was going to be a year and a week. And he just was so adorable and would not stop looking at me. Every once in a while, he'd make a mess of himself and shove a strawberry in his face. But pretty much the whole time, he was just staring over at me. And we shared laughter and smiles and admiration towards each other, just like goo eyes. It was the cutest thing. It was so beautiful. And in his offering of creating my attention, I got to share time with his mom. you know, and allow ourselves to have that moment of bond and love and sharing and that. And so the more we allow love in all moments of time, the more we get to give love to others too. You know, it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, let's see. One more big shuffle here. Two more big shuffles. Oh my goodness. Fertility. Now there's a lot of yellow in this card, so the light doesn't allow me to bring it close, but it is a Kuan Yin, it's a pregnant Kuan Yin, right? It is in the receiving that we are most fertile. It is in the purification of our soils. It is in the purification of our being that we are allowed to receive. And this is neither feminine or masculine. In fact, Kuan Yin is neither feminine or masculine. To know the story of Kuan Yin is that she is androgynous, or he is androgynous. And very well guarded in this image. There's imagery of animals and beautiful masculine energy guarding her. Sacred waters of balance being poured into the earth, and she herself is very pregnant with life. Yeah. The more we allow ourselves to receive. Yeah, I am working on that big time. Oh my goodness. I just decided to cut the deck just because, and I'm taking it because it's children. I love how this shit works. Look at this. The birthing of new light. The birthing of new light. Right? In this card, I've read the information on it. There are at least 4 different birds in this imagery, each one symbolizing an element of energy that is required for the development of the child, whether it be insight or guardianship, protection, wisdom. I mean, just unbelievable as this. And I love that the child itself, you can see the darkness of the womb, but you see all this life coming through as the child is within its cocoon, being guarded. Oh my goodness. So precious, so precious. So we are in a very fertile time as long as we sit back and receive. As long as we continue to purify our waters, right? And so when I say waters, what does that mean? Well, we're predominantly made of water. These beings, these bodies, the cells hold vibration. All of the cells hold a vibration. And if those vibrations are dense, or as a good friend of mine would say, we are a petri dish of bacteria, right? And so if I've ever gone through illness or something, I literally think of that. I'm like, oh, okay, so this petri dish of bacteria is showing that there is some of my bacteria is healthy because clearly I'm still alive, and some of it not so healthy. And so I'd often think, I was like, some of them are like hanging out at like the bar, you know what I mean? Smoking cigarettes, drinking beers, you know what I mean? Like a biker bar kind of thing. And those guys need a little bit of purification. They need a little bit of help. And then we have the other cells that are like all Zen-like and bringing in this great energy. And so during any time of illness, not only am I treating myself with natural herbs and tinctures, because that's how I treat myself, I also sit in it and I allow myself to speak to my cells, and I talk to them, and I allow myself to let them go and let them know that it's okay, and that I'm purifying my system, and that I'm only bringing in these lighter vibrational cells so that I can heal myself. So there are many ways, as I said. So the shaking medicine is key. If you want to know how to really move through things, shake, and shake to the point where you don't want to keep shaking and shake more, right? So like 5 to 10 minutes straight, don't stop shaking. It seems annoying, and it is annoying, but it's really good medicine, and you'll find yourself wanting to make sounds and vibrations, maybe scream, maybe tone, maybe cry, maybe get frustrated, but there is an element of energy that comes to the surface after a shaking of that level. That is what those denser energies need to move out of your system, right? Let's see. Toning is a very, very important aspect of healing of oneself. It's making sounds. And it's not really making, there are times and places to make sounds that come out of you and are more about being heard outside of you. And there are other times that I truly encourage, even when I speak, I can hear the vibration of what I am speaking. And so that is important. Allowing you to hear it from within. So when you make a vibrational tone, can you play around with it? Don't worry if it's not perfect the first time. Play with it. I do this often myself. So I want to make the vibration inside of my body. So it's that vibration is actually being felt inside of my cells. And so in order to make that vibration and hold it, I have to keep finding pathways within myself to make that happen. So it's allowing myself to do it. And oftentimes when I make sounds like that, it can sound distorted or broken up. And that's okay. It's supposed to. It's clearing phlegm or it's clearing denser areas. And so sometimes I even make sounds outside of myself. And then I bring it in, right? So I make sounds that are a little bit louder than what I'm supposed to have, or play with the tones. And your tones aren't going to sound like my tones. They might sound better. But they might not even come close to that kind of a vibration, and that's okay too. Make sounds and then purify them. Keep making the sound so you can feel it vibrate inside of your waters and clear up different dense vibrations that your body's carrying. Yeah, those are just a few good medicines to work with. I'll tell you right now, breathing, shaking, and making sounds are the most powerful medicines that we have. Breathing, shaking, and making sound. And I assure you, if you do that often enough, you will surrender, you will drop in, you will be in that place of receiving and finding the card that shows it, right? So it will make you want to go here effortlessly, right? So that we can be here effortlessly. Goodness me. No good thing shall be withheld. I think I'll name it that. I love you guys. Peace out, tribe.